This is Gamer 1745 here, checking out to make sure everything is actually playing. It looks sort of kind of like it. Images here. What's happening on YouTube? Right, okay. An excellent connection, but I don't know if it's working. And Arno's first also beer. Well, I have Coke. Ah, Arno, yes. Good to have you here. Okay, so we're going to be playing some Burden of Command. Now, one of the comments, and I did notice Burden of Command people did comment or reply as well, was wondering about this game, whether they should get it. And yes, in chat, check over on YouTube. Very good. And seeing that this is, is this a war game? And in the classical sense of what we think of war games, no, this is not a primarily. How do I put this? This is a role-playing game that is also a war game or something. No Rumble? Yeah, not today. Everyone, yeah. I slept in. I did not set things up last night because I was not sure if I was going to be awake for my. I'm a couple hours late, as it is. So I did not set up and schedule this because I wasn't even sure I was going to be streaming today. It was a very unsure situation, so I did not want to commit one way or another, and then have people wonder why it wasn't happening or something. So I just didn't set up Rumble this morning. Okay, so those of you who don't know, and I also stream over on Slithering TV on Twitch, sometimes also on their YouTube channel, but they rarely do live stuff over there. Which in Slithering TV covers both Slithering and Matrix published games. That will be on Tuesday with Armored Brigade 2. And I tell people on that channel, which is obviously to promote games published by Slithering and Matrix, I am not there to sell you the game. I am there to present the game and for you to make that decision. And that's very much here. I'm not trying to convince anybody to buy this game. I am presenting the game. I'm using the game to also talk about, and that's the subtitle of this series, is Why Men Fight. Why is the history of humanity the history of warfare? So it's a tool for me to do that as well, because this is a psychological game, and this is a role playing. And I was really hesitant, as I don't know if you could tell, about is this a war game? In a way, yes. Is this a classical war game? In a way, very much so, yes. Back in the late 19th century, early 20th century, the sort of German or Prussian, I don't know how much it went to other German states and whatnot, but they had what was called Kriegsspiel. I'm sure I'm butchering it. Hi, my German friends. But basically war talk. And it was often played in which you had a map and you were in a room. There was another room in which there was a map, And then there was a third room in which your opponents, or opponent, whether it's multiple or whatever, was in another room. And he had a map. So you all three had the same map. And you would get verbal and written notifications. Kriegspiel, war talk. So it would be like somebody would report, the 5th Battalion has made it to the top of the hill. And so you could choose to put a counter on top of the hill. Now you may have put it on one hill in the center room where the real facts, the actual facts are going on. It may be on a different hill. And because people, read maps, get lost, go to other, things. So it was the idea that you were in a command post. You weren't watching the whole battlefield, and you were reacting to reports and issuing commands. And another game very, very much like that is, what is it? Radio Talk? It's a Vietnam. Oh, let me look this up. I know I have it here. Where is there? I have it in my Steam library here. Let's see if I can quickly find it. Get this right. Been a long time. Oh, Radio Commander. That's it. Radio Commander. It is a game set in Vietnam. You are basically in a tent, in a command post, fire base, whatever, and you're getting radio reports about what's going on out in the field and issuing orders based on that. And the units try to, carry out your orders. And this is a different version than that. But this is a war game, a training game. As far as we're still just in the early phases of the training. We'll see how this goes. But this is that type of a game. This is not a move counters around. I mean, you do, but this is more of a setting of scenarios so far. So we're going to continue with this. We're going to go to saves. I think I've sort of kind of figured out some of my problem. Okay, let's come to here. I need my headphones on, probably. There's a lot of talking in this game. Sometimes the recording software interprets the talking to be presenter and not. Okay, so we need to take this objective, these two objectives here. They're shooting at each other over here. See what we can do. They're out of actions. He has they are suppressed. Him over to here, and which will then I want to Bolster unit here. Huh? Why not? Okay, well, now with that. Okay, too far away. Well then, these guys are being suppressed. A little worried about these guys over here, but let's not assault him. Let's move to here. Now, see if we can assault. That's one down, one to go. Sergeant Bennett calls out. The umpire agrees wordlessly and ticks a box on his clipboard. Okay, so we've succeeded here with taking one of the two objectives. We have this other objective here, but we have but 3 more turns. We're going to people lead here. Okay, now what we're going to do is okay, we've used up this, so that let's put fire on there with the machine guns. Well, we've had a casualty. That is not the best outcome. End the turn. Yes, I want to end the turn right now.
Hello, LT. I want to talk to you about one last nice aspect of your ace, your captain. He can influence troops adjacent. Doesn't sound that powerful, but it turns out to be quite efficient. So I'm going to have him bolster, I'll use hotkeys here, this adjacent member of your platoon. You didn't have to pay. Let's bolster these guys. Still didn't have to pay. Notice the enhanced movement. And if you want to be sneaky, you can even take command of one of my, or let's say one of your platoon squads, and pay their initial activation for their move. That leaves you free to do whatever you might need to do. Assault, lead firefights, etc. You can also rally. Powerful.
Okay, flags up, flags down. No one is quite sure what's going on. The Empire that's finally Empire. First, the telephone switchboard they've set up, stenciled on one side of the words field radio. Look at that beast, Sergeant. Hope we don't have to lug it overseas. Now, this is an interesting thing here about the radio and telephones. Modern radios are so much better than what they were in World War II. And this was, and I'm combining information here from multiple sources on radios and their effectiveness during World War II. The Japanese radios were fairly poor, especially things like in their aircraft, to the point of them actually supposedly taking them out of the aircraft um, to save weight. Different parts of the Earth have different magnetic fields that interrupt or disrupt radios. Now, and so this was found partially what was going on, not all of it, not even maybe the majority of it, but partially what was going on with the magnetic detonators for torpedoes were being affected by the different magnetic fields. But like I was saying, the radios, there was big problems with the Americans trying to communicate with the Commonwealth forces. Some of that might be put down to accents, but I think if we look at it, it's probably also as much to do with different radio qualities, as well as this is mainly in the Pacific theater, that you're having problems there. And then, like I say, the Japanese, who would not for when they were carrier based, they always had radios in the aircraft just because they had to be able to talk to the carriers. But sometimes when they were doing the land base, and Japanese planes were very much oriented around performance, and they would lighten those airplanes up to try to get as much performance out of them as possible. Where the Americans would have things like armor in their aircraft, self-sealing fuel tanks, which are basically a fuel tank with a thick rubber liner, and that would increase the weight of the aircraft and things like that. So radios, and that's radios dealing with, immediate line of sight things like aircraft to aircraft, as well as radios from main bases like, back at Pearl Harbor, up at Guam, to the different fleets. You're dealing with that. So, and everything in between was a very unsure means of communication. So, even though you may hear or think that the field telephone was out of date or shouldn't be relied upon, that's absolutely not the case in the terms of World War II. And not just for static units, defense lines, or we can think of the Atlantic Wall or something like that, or for major bases. No, they were used rather tactically. They were bringing them up there. The Germans, both the Germans used a lot of them. The Allies, Western Allies, used a lot. I don't really know how much the Soviets. It's just more of an ignorance. Not saying they didn't have them or didn't use them. It's just they. I just don't know about the Soviets. But the Germans very much so, as well as the Western Allies up until the end, were using lots of field telephones because, one, they were hard to intercept. You had to actually get in and tap the lines. As opposed, to intercept the messages, to find out what the enemy's doing, or what they think you're doing. So they were hard to intercept. They were often more clear communications, more reliable communications. Yes, the lines would break and whatnot, I'm sure, but when it was working, it was rather reliable. So there was the Signal Corps very much was out stringing phone lines, down to the sort of battalion level. I don't know so much to the like platoon. Each platoon would have a field telephone. It's more the platoon would have a radio. The company would have radios to talk to the different platoons, and then talk to higher command, and then the battalions. So yeah, field telephones were very much a useful thing, and not just considered an out of date. Why don't you just use a radio? Okay, Stern leads the weapons platoon. Dearborn as the third platoon. But well, you're the captain. Your strategy is theirs. The objectives need to be taken out there. Sergeant Bennett quickly he is going to rank your personnel performance. He's leading the assault. Okay. Okay. Right. Well, this is where we're at. We've got our captain here with lots of points. Okay. Trying to think here now. He can deal with nearby units, which is fine. But what we want to do here is have him lead. We're going to move to here because they're battling over there. So these guys are going to move to here. Yeah. These guys are suppressing the...
What are you, stupid?
Visual casualties, LT. At least that's how the Empire called it. But between you and me, they're just making stuff up. We should move on the objectives. Okay. Yes. Now. Well, he's still leading, so what we're going to do here is fire on these guys. Maybe should have done that first. Right, keep them suppressed. These guys over to here. Right. Now they're spent, yes. Now I want to Lieutenant Stern. I want to do artillery support, 60mm mortars on there. Here, now, here, I want to machine gun. Right. Captain Lamb. I want to move to here.
Take cover.
Only Captain Lamb, yes. There we go. We're going to bolster these guys.
Come on!
And leader around.
Nicht verteilen.
Okay, we rest these guys and take command of them, and we're going to assault. Available. Okay, we can't. Okay, well, right.
Shift fire. Watch your fire.
Oh, well.
On your left.
We're going to end the turn. Nearby radio crackles. One of the refs cups his headphones and blows a short whistle. Exercise pause at the field. Umpire steps towards you with his clipboard at his side. He points towards the south edge of the field, where 10 soldiers emerge from the brush wearing blue armbands. Who are they? Oh, sarcasm. Minus one, no idea, sir. Field umpire asks, glances around, dissatisfaction quickly. So apparently so, but it's now your responsibility to get those men out of the exercise area. I guess that they'll be nickel company men for a while. Okay. Okay, so what we're supposed to activate this unit and move them away from the training exercise.
Truck.
Okay, now let's have him lead the way. We're going to again mortar the enemy. And we're going to machine gun. We're going to end the leader round here. And then we're going to have Captain Lamb.
Shift fire.
Bolster that unit. And then he's going to take command of that unit. And he's going to have them
Don't give him an inch.
assault.
Get those bastards.
All right. Flags go up, whistle blows. What the hell, Sergeant Baker asks. Your guess is as good as mine. Enemy bombardment, the field umpire indicates, and then writes something on portion of his clipboard right on time. It will be heavy enough to mark the end of the exercise at the beginning of the review. Okay, we had a major victory. Light casualties exercise completed early. No one out of action, sir. Very good. We're going to continue with the story.
I think a good leader is a man who knows what has to be done and sets about to do it. But he also has to know about the people that he's got to do it with.
If you're not liking a guy and you know he's got the ability to lead you, you don't care whether you like him or dislike him. First of all, guts.
Guts.
Second of all, brains.
Guts. A lot of guts.
You ain't got the brains, you don't belong there.
A lot of guts.
Because you're going to take men with you when he gets killed.
You don't want them to. You want to take no men, no matter if they hate you or not. You want to get them in alive and get them out alive.
You got to look up to the guy and like him. If you don't look up to him and like him, you're not going to go with him. And then everybody tells you any different, they're talking through their hat.
Okay, field problem is over.
I think a good leader is a man who
Okay,
knows
we
what
just
has to be.
Did this. Okay, the referees confer, clipboards are exchanged, dialogue concerning your performance begins and ends. Oh, excuse me. Mission, major victory, secured both objectives before turn 4. Men, major victory, referees determined casualties were minimal, below 10%. You were able to send the wandering squad out of danger, but that wasn't part of your criteria. Firstly, you fail to personally lead an assault. The field umpires indicate idly taps the top of his clipboard with a pencil, and if the men don't see you with them from time to time, they won't be half so eager to go in. Temporarily morale boosting efforts were acceptable. The men know your voice, Captain, and they'll respond. Rallying techniques minimal. The field umpire remarks. Okay. He means you left things to your lieutenants, which isn't terrible, but you have to be able to motivate them if someone takes it in the neck. Lastly, fire direction unproven, the field umpire says. He taps his pencil on the top of his clipboard. When a captain directs fire, things get done. Frankly, you need a refresher course. Then signs the bottom of the clipboard, which we will arrange to polish off the rust. No sense in polishing a turd. Okay. Next exercise. All right. Tomorrow, another day. Hopefully the sergeant lieutenant has a hot dinner ready for them. Okay. All right. Let's see about aiding our men here. All right. Well, we have prestige, we have loyalty. We are building up our units. We can see here 81, 52, 75, 67. 25, 25. Hmm. 0. Well, let's get a little more loyalty set up there. Let's get, they haven't been operating here, our that done for them. Yes, that's all. Well, for some reason we can't improve these guys. Mortars, machine guns, and other machine guns. Okay, well, I guess, well, yes, we can give him a little bit of prestige there. There we go. Okay, I guess we're done for now. All right, let's continue our journey. Crossroads. Still in Virginia.
That's where we left from. We left from Newport News when we went overseas to Africa then.
Now, when you were there, did you know where you were headed at that point in time?
Nope, nobody knew where we were going or anything. I mean, until after we were out to sea for quite some time, and then somebody said we were going to Africa.
Okay, September 42, Camp Pickett, Virginia. The barracks at the other end of the courtyard are quiet and still as you approach. A starlight glance at your watch finds that it's almost time to resume training. The men have had it easy these last days, Lieutenant. Okay, early to bed, early to rise. That's true. Let's wake them up now. Okay, let's get them up early. Light comes on and orders begin to wake them up aren't are slow to wake up, slipped out of their bed, shower, shave. After a quick hot breakfast, they grab their gear, stumble in the dark. Okay. Brisk hike ensues. The map takes you right up a ravine, and then the men stumble forward as best they can. Halfway to the top, the field umpire steps out from behind a tree. Ah! Surprised by the field umpire. Uh-oh. 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 The expected clipboard is still in his hand. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Clipboard emergency. The sole exercise of the day, he calls down to you. Company level operations, you are to secure the road ahead, both the crossroads near the apple orchard and the hill overlooking it. The field umpire turns and gestures towards the crest of the nearby hill. Your men groan as they realize just how much further they have to go today. Why are the peaks always at the top? Private Morris asks. They're always been up there. Tradition. Okay. Oh, hell, easy. Okay. Excuse me. We know our staff, Lieutenant. First fire and movement, bombardments, assaults, nothing to worry about. Just a bit of a walk getting there. Then the field umpire blows his whistle. Enemy machine gun, plunging fire, 2 casualties. Choose one of these men. He points towards Morris and Patterson. Okay, what are the merits of person? B, let me see it. Do that one. Point to Patterson to Likey. So lets a sigh and then seems to come all the way from Alabama. I hate dying. Mumbles and settles and beside the tree. Cheer up. It won't last long. And besides, I could use peace and quiet. Okay. Another casualty is your Sergeant Bennett. However, he will be able to. Excuse me. Oh, let's see if he can be able to accompany you in spirit, as it were, but he is not to pass along your commands. Okay, we'll get Sergeant Grant. We'll do fine. Yeah, it's not choking. I got sick about a month ago. I think Arno knows this. I don't. Just a heavy sort of cold, and I'm still coughing up phlegm, especially from sleeping. So it's not choking really. It just, and this speaking here is sort of, making it a little worse. So that's what's just going on. It's nothing really to worry about. Okay, Grant will do fine, Sergeant Bennett says as Grant scrambles forward to assume the role of platoon sergeant. Your platoon guide will be replacement. Very well. We will now proceed with the exercise. Yeah, I'm sure it could sound like it. Grant comes forwards with explanation, puts him in charge of the platoon. Both of your sergeant look your way as whistle blows. The rest of the men brace themselves for an uphill struggle. Yeah, just to get rid of the phlegm here. There's one thing, says Sergeant Grant. His sudden promotion to platoon leader clearly weighs heavily on him. It seems like every field problem includes part of where, if we forget about cover, the rest will suddenly remind us. Good point. Thank you. Why don't we creep forward and take a quick look around? It'll slow us down, but we're waiting for Lieutenant Wilson anyways. Okay. Okay, let's see. Umpire signals exercise commit. Click to access your vocab media for tactics, hints, and helps. Okay. Okay. Creep forward. So, objective 2, creep forward to this. Ah. We're going to add the squad. Okay. Sorry about all the talking. I really do mean it. Oh, man. Hello, Jamnuska. Is this game really such a burden? Well, that's an interesting question. You might think, as an officer's job, your job is to kill the enemy. And in a way, yes, it is. But in a way, it's to kill your own men. And so, yeah, I would go. It's the burden. And it's not like, oh, you want to kill your men. It's you know that you're going to get your men killed, or your men are going to get killed because of your commands. And it's not that if you screw up, you'll get your men killed. You will get your men killed. If you're fighting a peer to peer, enemy, an enemy that is up to your standards, you're going to get your men killed. Even if you tell them the right thing to do, they're going to die. Now, hopefully, your objectives are worth the death. You kill 25 of the enemy and you lose one of your guys. Okay, that's probably worth the casualties. You secure a bridge that cuts off the enemy's retreat, allows your side to surround a bunch of the enemy, and you lose 5 of your guys. It's probably very worth it. So your job is to direct your people. Your job is not to pull out your pistol or have a rifle and go shoot at other people. As an officer, this is, I've had a few interesting friends over my lifetime, and one really good friend was a Marine sergeant. And he always, really admired the Israeli army, because in that army, basically, at least back at the time, I'm not sure today, but everybody started out as privates, and you moved up the chain of command. So you move from, private to corporal to sergeant to lieutenant to whatever. And different systems can work. It doesn't all have to be the same system to work. But in my opinion, you want to separate out your command from your men early on. You don't want a lot of sergeants to become officers. We do, one that does come to mind is Omar Bradley. He did work up, through the ranks. But most higher commands don't. You want to, and you want to early on identify, because, you have officers candidate school, or normally during, wartime, ways to promote, enlisted men up to the ranks. You want to identify those guys early on and pull them out of the ranks and move them into the officers, because you want to create this separation. And so the command track of the NCO, the non-commissioned officer, he is there to look after and keep the men of the platoon, and if you're, company sergeant types or other NCOs that are, attached to the company HQ, they're there to look after and maintain the good, health, good organization of the enlisted men there and look out after them. Where the officers, they're there not to do that so much. Their job is to achieve the objective, okay? If the objective is to defend the hill, their job is to defend the hill. If their objective is to take the hill, it's to take the hill. And now their resources are things like ammunition and weapons, how many machine guns, how many bullets do they have, all of that. But their resources are also people. And you're going to use them up. You know that. Because, and I've definitely known a few, and a few of you guys are around, that have fought in the more recent wars in, Iraq and Afghanistan. And those are not peer-to-peer armies. Those are bandits with explosives or something. So, they can set up some IEDs and once in a while get a kill. They can, try to ambush a unit and once in a while get a kill. But they're not, able to defend a hill. They're rarely able to take a hill. Because, there were some fire bases or whatever, forward operating bases or something that were heavily besieged. And yeah, if you get enough of the bandits around you, they might be able to take it. And yes, there are casualties. Yes, not just wounded, but dead casualties. So I'm not saying that there isn't a cost to the West's recent modern wars. There is, most assuredly. But it's not the same as similar armies fighting. We can see, what's going on in Ukraine and the rather heavy casualties there. So, yeah, being an officer, and this is why a lot of people don't want to be officers, because they don't want that burden of command. They may be smart enough, they may be informed enough, they may even have enough experience, but they just don't want to say, Sergeant Bennett, take that squad and go do that thing, because these men know that some of those people are going to die, and they don't want that burden. So they just want to be a soldier. And they know they got to go fight in the war. They know it's the right thing to do or whatever, but they just don't want that responsibility. So yes, I would say the burden is a big thing. Let's see, going out for a ride after lunch. Gamer knowledge and info until it warms up. Well, thank you, Jamnuska. And I'm coughing still. Sorry about all that coughing. I'm feeling okay, except for actually trying to cough up the phlegm, but that's it. There they are, a detachment of enemy soldiers waiting in the woods for you to come strolling towards the hill. Obviously, that won't happen now. They haven't spotted us yet. Okay. You turn to Sergeant Grant and consider how best to both secure the crossroads and the elevated position. Okay. There's the crossroads. There's the elevated position. What do we have here to work with? They're spent. I really just want to go have a coughing fit and get this over with, but let's continue the stream instead. I don't want to come through this open field. I want to move through here and take out this and get to the crossroad and then move around up here. So that's what I want to do. Yeah, don't be like Pickett. Yeah. Well, Pickett got ordered to do his charge, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've looked at Gettysburg, but the problem with Gettysburg, it was a meeting engagement that neither side was looking for, and it was a piecemeal reinforcements. So the battle just kept growing without any real understanding by either side of what the enemy was. Partially from the South's perspective, Lee did not know what was going on, and partially because Stuart with his cavalry were out riding around the enemy, but not being a good scouting element to report. So Lee did not have a good strategic grasp of things, and so he did not know whether he should continue to extend his flanks or push in the center. So that's sort of what happens there. The old I was only following orders excuse. Well, it's not an excuse. I would say in Pickett's charge, he was following orders. Okay, so we're going to move these guys up, which takes, and I should be able to, oh, they're revealed. But trees, okay. Now here, get these guys up here. Now we're spent. We've done all our movement we can. See, the other side has initiative, so we don't want to. We want to keep in cover. We're not going to shoot. So now, the other leaders round here is we're going to come here. Okay. Shift for waypoints. We should have been creeping.
Pick it up.
No. Maybe that should have been creeping. I'm not sure. Let's go up the hill a bit here. There we go. End the turn. The second platoon coming up calls over to you. Lieutenant Wilson will hustle them right over the ridge. If training were the game of chess, then this would be a strong move. Okay. Starts a little over 30 odd men. Their runners should make contact shortly, the field umpire says, then checks his watch. Okay, so we have reinforcements now. If I'd known this, I would have done different things. Right. Yes, we get that this is reinforcements. Let's move aggressively. And we found the enemy. We found the enemy. All right, well, at this point here, oh, well, he's not leading. He's still leading here. Okay, our attack would be a really bad idea. We have another possible unit there. I think that is good. We will end. Okay, so now bring him in here to lead. We are going to bolster the unit here.
We're gonna pound them flat.
Now these guys. Yeah, let's bolster these guys. We got moved to there. We can bolster these guys because just the captain that is.
Let's get back out there.
Able to. Okay, well, we've used up his. We have found the enemy and he is us. Well, I don't know if that's quite what we've done, but
Don't dally, Private.
wow. From all the way over there. Taking cover in the field. Okay. Wow. See, I need some artillery. Now, we have found the enemy and he is ours, meaning we have conquered him. We have defeated him. That's a different thing. Okay. Nope. We're all sort of used up. I'm not gonna. Well, should we? Okay, we'll fire at these guys. Pogo changed the quote for cartoon purposes. Okay, I'm not quite sure who Pogo is right offhand, so maybe I do and I'm just not catching the reference. I'm not sure. Now we have artillery. Looks like. A runner jogs over and halts before you. Lieutenant Stern says to tell you that he can have mortars ready to pound the enemy to crap whenever the refs blow the whistle. That was quick. Use a weapon platoon, lags further behind. Stern knows his work. Okay. Consider the enemy's line of sight. Enemy has elevation, which makes their lines slightly superior, especially anything on top of the hill. And G is set up. Okay. Well, howdy. All right. And these hit over here? No. Okay, so we're going to not do that. See, I really like machine guns and artillery. Let's move you up onto this ridge. Suppressed from over there already. Okay. You guys move up to here. Maybe you'll be close enough to do that. And now let's move you through to here. He lived, okay, he lived in an Okefenokee swamp, daily cartoons from the 50s to the 70s, in all papers. Hey, Beam Slam. Good to have you here. Well, this is, yes, in that, this is no longer the demo. This is the actual game. I don't know if it's been released to the public yet. And I know that I forget. I don't think it was Luke or somebody was in the chat last week when we were presenting this. One of the lead developer or one of the developers was in the chat. I sort of kind of know him from Twitter. Interacted with them some. So, yeah, this is the latest version. It's coming out soon. I'm not sure if it's coming out as a pre-release or what exactly, but yeah. Okay. Let's see. What do we want to do here? We've got Stern up here. We're done with Stern, so let's go to another leader round.
Stiefel an! Auf geht's, ja Frottschweine!
Okay, so they're seeing us very much so. I want to take this squad out here. So let's activate these guys and have them shoot you and suppress. Okay, they're suppressed. Now, let's move up to here. And what I think I want to do is rally these guys. Okay. That's used all of our points for him, so he is spent. Now, here. I think we need to rally these guys.
Let's pay for our breakfast. Next
turn will bolster. So basically, this Lieutenant Wilson has done all that he's the time of this turn. All he's done is basically rallied these guys. So he hasn't had time to order these other things. I do sort of like this. You're talking earlier on about Kriegspiel, the early sort of war games. And these things here, the squads, really should not have a lot of initiative. And this whole concept is something that I'm getting used to playing as a game, but it feels very familiar to me as a reality. This squad shouldn't go off doing things. You know, even if it knows what it needs to do, even if it sees something it can do, because let's just say, oh, it can see these guys over here or something, but it can't see through the woods these guys. You know, what's going on here. So you're relying upon, you know, these four leading figures up here, the command elements, to organize up what's going on. So should these guys move up? Absolutely. There's no need for them to be here. But no one's told them to. And if they, you know, head down here, maybe their lieutenant would have decided they needed to move up to the north. You know, so now, of course, which we do have here is, opportunity fire. Yeah, if they're being fired upon, return fire. If the enemy walks in front of them, yeah, shoot the enemy. I mean, it's not that they are or should be powerless to do anything, but you've got to sort of work as a coordinated element. So, yeah, it's good. Just checking the, Arno and Beamslime are chatting. Okay, so we're going to end here. Now we have Lieutenant Dearborn. Dearborn, I think, is supposed to be okay. We're going to creep up with our units there.
Together.
Here, can they shoot? Yeah, flanked from above. Let's shoot it there. Okay, so they are heavily suppressed. We're going to end the turn. Messenger from Company HQ carries over. Want you over at the command post now, and that's a direct order. That's our captain in. Follow the messenger. Nichols Company says to come over. Nichols comes over. You find Captain Lamb, map in hand, with 3 other messengers, each one for the first, third weapons. After he glances your way, he dismisses them. Then them fellows really want to put us in a pickle, don't they? Rest. Light and torment, yes. At least they claim to have a purpose. The umpires say we need to take that hill without taking too many casualties. What do I need to know? They're trying to move forward. They don't know, or they don't make it easy. Okay, we'll have to develop what are your lines of sight. Indicate the hill sight lines. Sketch a map in the dirt. We're going to sketch a map in the dirt. The hill does dominate. Note that they're not. Note that they've got a machine gun. So they've got an MG. Outranges our rifles. And they've probably got some more squirreled away. Um, then let's get to it. Yes, sir. Don't really know what that was all about, quite honestly. Okay, we got Captain Lamb in the field here now. And what kind of 60mm mortar not range out to there? I don't get that. Okay. Well, I hope your dad does well, Beam Slam. Okay, well, no, I don't have a. Well, they can't even hit here. Like, what the hell? No spotter line of sight. Okay, well, there. Now maybe I can. Okay, now I can hit here. There we go. They're all suppressed. Very good. Now we're going to can't take command of that. I thought I would be able to. I'm going to take command of that squad, and we're going to use the machine gun on him. Okay, basically he's rally these guys.
They can't keep us down.
There we go. Right, now I'm getting the hang of this.
Mickey Mouse is kaputt. Mein wir Arsch. Amis?
Now, these guys, okay, I think we will try with having these guys lead. Okay, what we're going to do is here, they're going to shoot there, undone. Target heavily suppressed, good. So we're going to bolster these guys.
Come on!
And then these guys are going to assault. Sergeant Grant says, as the refs decide that the assault didn't work, we need to get men fired up before we try that again. Make sure you're using a high morale unit and attempt to assault whenever possible. Bolster them. Well, I thought I bolstered them.
No can do.
Okay, well, I could definitely put a lot of fire on them. Well, Let's shoot at the base. Okay, well, now that we got that done.
Auf geht's! Frontsoldaten!
Guess it's up to this squad here.
We gotta finish this! Come on!
Oh, okay, we got them. Oh, we've lost a man in the squad there. Now here. Well, I really can't send him back to bolster them. So this is not, well, no, I think we need to shoot. Pressed. Okay. Well, we're going to try this. This is maybe stupid, but these guys have been busy doing everything else. Okay, that was actually good. So these guys, I guess, because they have been shooting here and shooting here, they used up all their action points. Okay, he's now in good hands. He had difficulty in living on his own lately and suffering from dementia. Oh, dementia, God. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Well, I hope he does well. Man. Yeah. Dementia is not a good thing. Not a good thing. Right. Okay. Now, we have these guys. Oh, we got enemy artillery up here. Oh, is that? Yeah, is that what? Okay, it's enemy artillery. Damn. All right. Well, we got these guys here, but they're sort of being pinned from here and here, and maybe here. Well. Okay, we're gonna. Stern's gonna do his thing, which will be to bolster this squad.
Don't dig in! We're moving soon!
You're okay. They're still there, but it'll be the end for him. Now we're back with him. These guys. Yeah, let's see if we can take them out. Yeah, they surrender. Good. These guys have been a serious impediment to my advance. Now, these guys are up high. They may have line of sight there, but let's Bolster this unit.
Gentlemen, ready yourselves.
I think we're just going, oh no, we want to, oh. How do you do Alt Tab? I wanted to do the waypoints. He's starting to eat better. Hopefully he will have some better time. He don't worry much about where he is now. Well, good. Good. When you can, spend time with him. I mean, you can overdo it, but definitely spend time with him when you can. Okay. Hotkeys. Okay, establish waypoints. Mouse controls. Oh, right click. Right click. Okay. Oh, control right. Okay, I gotta read this better. Control right click. Okay. So I want to control right click. Here.
We shall go forward.
There we go.
Dein Heimatschuss!
Yeah, I'm gathering from what you're saying he's not maybe near where you're at. I get that. Yeah. I just, because lost my dad over a year ago. Didn't have dementia, but, okay, so we've got to there now. Let's see, can we fire? No, that they have better initiative, so we're not going to fire. I think we're good. Okay. Yes, we are. Ending turn. Wonder what tricks they've got planned for us up ahead, Sergeant Grant says. The way Bennett tells it, the fellows who wrote these exercises always like trying to be clever. The enemy is prepared and has chosen their ground. Crossroads, machine guns. Runner races over and motions hurriedly for the umpire's attention. Naturally, he gives it. Naturally, the Sergeant Bennett slips over to you. He certainly doesn't look dead. How you holding up, LT? Well, I think I'm fine. No, we haven't gotten that yet, but we're about ready to get it. Okay, now. A little worried about these guys up here. Seize this position. Okay. We're going to start with Lieutenant Wilson here. He's going to order these guys to shoot here. Fire ineffective. That's effective, but what about... Yes. He's going to order these guys to assault. Oh, I thought I was assaulting them. Oh. That's all right. Beam slam, yeah. Thanks. So far, the thing with this game is its interface that I'm having the most difficulty with. I thought I had selected these guys to assault here. I don't know, because it's at the bottom of the damn map, it didn't quite do it. Hello, MMDB. How you doing? All right. So, I don't think I want to break cover under this machine gun to take this position yet. So, well, we can't creep. So,
Zack, zack! Nochmal! Rosenfeld kaputt! Pass dich auf! Haltet drauf!
these guys are heavily suppressed. Now, back to stern. We're going to use stern. Can you see up there? No. I shouldn't have used stern. Move to here, move to here. Maybe Captain Lamb can do this. Yeah. So they are getting mortared. Can they machine gun him? Okay, your attack is not been there. Okay, good. Okay. Don't think, because he's moved up to here now, all of his units have done things, so we're going to end his turn doing things. Now we have the other two lieutenants. Him. These guys up. Activated. There. So, we can get up here. Maybe they'll be with these trees in enough of a depression. Don't know. There they are. Oh, they're up there now too. What is the hex width? I don't know if it's defined. I mean, it seems to take up a full building. I mean, that's looks like a largish sort of building. A squad area. You can't put more than one squad in a hex. This is obviously a road. I don't know if it's defined more than this. Okay, so he's spent, so there's nothing more for him to do. Now, we have Dearborn here. He has some troops down here. These guys up here might fire at them. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these guys to here and then up to here. That will allow us to move just move all the way. Let's just be aggressive. Okay. Can we assault? No. Oh, no, we'll just stay here then. We're gonna, well, yeah, well, let's move Captain Lamb up. Now, he can see a lot from there. I'm going to leave him right where he is. Yeah, he can see a lot there. We're gonna leave him right where he is. Wad space is likely less than nowadays. All considered weapons. Yeah. Artillery is now available to your company. Field umpire indicates gestures should grant your radio men nearby. Your Captain Lamb will call the coordinates as he would in the field. He will rule for the delays and accuracies of fire as needed. This includes possible issues with communications. Okay. Big guns. It's about time. Good. Seize this position. Yes, seize that position. We know that. Okay, Captain Lamb. Artillery. Off map. 105. These are important, but that's the position I want to. Have a look at. Okay. Now. He is heavily suppressed. Machine gun. Anything more? Oh, he could use the on map. Maybe can he fire there? No, he can't fire there. Okay. I'm going back to him, and he's going to use the mortars. The other area that I'm worried about. Yeah, I know he's leading. He's not in a good position here, so let's. Here. Okay. There we go. Now. They've been suppressed. They've been suppressed. We got these guys up here. So, Dearborn. Lead now.
Make your shots count.
Okay, we took a casualty. See if this works. Let's move up to here.
Weiterfeuern!
Okay, they are bent, but at least they got somebody above them.
Gefreiter! Schnell, schnell!
These guys could have moved. Well, never mind. Rally these guys. And that does it for his platoon because he is spent. Now. Take the crossroads. There we go. Let's keep pushing up here. And these guys can't move anywhere. Let's rally them.
Let's get back out there.
There we go. Yep, I think that's basically it. You are substantially behind schedule, the Field Empire notes as he checks his watch. Well, okay, I'm behind schedule, but I'm trying to take this without significant loss. Okay. Captain Lamb. Go. Does that do any good? Don't know. These guys are in good shape here now. There's press. These guys are going to go in with the bayonet. Guess that didn't work. Okay, I'm not getting some of this. I don't know. I thought I'd, well.
These Jerrys get to die for Hitler.
Well, that doesn't take them out. Okay. Now, next round here.
Knock them out!
Okay. You have 2 action. We can take that. Yeah, let's try Dearborn first. This squad. No. Yes. Go for it. Nope. Okay. These guys then.
Rest assured, the tide is turning.
I'm not assured of that at all. Okay. Here. Sergeant Grant says you discuss how the referees. No, not sufficiently. We need to get them. Right. Well, that's why we're over here. Get these guys. Oh, it's the wrong platoon. Oh. Hmm. This platoon. Okay.
They haven't beaten us.
Go for it. Take him out. What? I guess all I can do is shoot them.
Find a target.
Okay. All right. Well, they're all suppressed. We took out their officer, it looks like. Do you have any? Okay. He still has that machine gun, but it. Good for that. Okay, we can shoot there though. No, I'm making a mess of this. Pin release the. Oh, okay. Planned for 8th of April. Okay, so it's coming out very soon. This is definitely a very psychological look at the war here. Okay. Checks his watch and shakes his head. You have passed the mark. Your company may no longer claim complete success. However, victory is still, if you push forward. Right, yes. Okay. Right. Captain Lamb. Artillery. Don't know why the 105s just didn't take this out. Okay, they're suppressed. Now, he's going to take the lead here. Not with... He's going to come up here. He's going to bolster this squad.
Gentlemen, follow me.
And they're going to bayonet assault into here. What? Don't know why that bayonet assault didn't work. I don't know. I don't know.
Nicht verteilen.
Okay, well, is there anything else? Because he's commanding the machine gun here. Okay, we're going to end his term. I like the heavy weapons guy, but... That's flanked. Now these guys here. These guys attack. This... I don't get what's happened there. I don't know. Hey David, how you doing? I'm doing well. It's sort of the game, maybe not so much. Okay, so now he's leading, but we're going to come over here with him, and they're going to shoot here with the machine gun.
Give him some heat, Cottonbalers.
Okay, you can't quite assault from there. This unit. No, this unit here. They can move to here. And they assault here now. That didn't work. These guys assault. No. Bolster these guys.
Come on!
Now, can we do this?
Frag out!
Okay, they surrender. Finally, an assault works.
Get your ass moving!
I don't know what I've been doing wrong. Okay, I think I'm done with this turn here. Yeah. 7 turns left. Yeah, enemy mortars are still... Okay, see, yes, I know we're supposed to seize that position. It's a dominating position. I'm going to use Captain Lamb, which can spot that up there, to bring in this artillery here and try to suppress it. Okay, now. End his turn. Chicken foots. Here, we're going to bolster.
Gentlemen, to me.
Can we come here? Well, see, to me, this looks like target and cover morale, unit advance, but initiative a chance. Looks like we should be able to do this, so I'm going to... see if these guys can do it. No, they can't. Yeah, I'm not understanding some of this clearly. Can't do any of that stuff. Well, these guys can move. Okay, I guess that's it. Now. What?
Move out!
I mean, everybody in the world's done a bayonet charge against you. Okay, finally. Okay, finally. You only move backwards? That's only Captain Lamb. I'm gonna creep up to here. Hopefully I'll have some line of sight. Hmm. Yeah. Going to shoot at them there. And then these guys are going to move to here. They're heavily suppressed now. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Gamer gets confused. Yes, I know I'm supposed to take that position. Okay, he can't see that, so never mind. Well, let's. Hey, David, I'm fighting. This is in Virginia, training up there. They're sort of kind of having the Op 4 look sort of like the Vichy French. So I guess that's sort of who I'm fighting. Now. I still haven't even gotten out of the training, so yes. This guy is being very pathetic here.
We ain't out of fight yet.
Yeah, but you're out of actions. You lead. Okay.
Left, right. You know this.
They're out of actions. These guys can move up to here. These guys are just going to run right across the open field. And if you want to, it's a combination line of sight plus I think these guys are somewhat already used up all their actions. They're spent as this thing. Platoon leader is confused, but we win. Haha. Nevertheless, yes. So, okay. And so what we're doing is these are the leaders here. This guy can always do something because he's the company commander. Otherwise, you're playing each platoon leader at a time. So now we're over at Dearborn. And his platoon of the Red Bulls, or whatever this symbol represents. And he has 4 action points. This squad only has 2 because it is somewhat suppressed. So we're going to rely upon the idea that they can't shoot all of us. Oh, well. Yeah. They can't shoot all of us. And once you activate a squad, you can use up the squads. Because you see, when he has three green dots. So he'll go to 2 green dots because he'll get this squad moving. Should go to 2. Yeah, it's 2. And they're up there. Now he can get this squad nowhere. Okay, but he can move. Okay, he's going to come to this squad here. All of a sudden, Lieutenant Dearborn stands up, signaling the referee for timeout as he strides towards you. With respect to your judges, we must protest the parameters of this exercise, Lieutenant declares as he pulls out a pack of smokes. A damnable set of mortar position fires as alacrity. An exercise, what did you expect? Potential for all reasonable solutions. I don't understand what the hell's going on here. Your choice may change Dearborn or the battlefield. Okay. Potential for a reasonable solution for 1, Dearborn replies. The machine gun at the top of the hill is so well sighted that that a prudent commander would surely bypass this approach rather than beating their head against it like Burnside's at Fredericksburg. We have no smoke, we have no planes or substantial artillery. There are tools warranted for the resolution of the problem such as this one. We have been allowed none of them. Your choice may change Dearborn or the battlefield. Maybe that's the point of it. Dearborn gains morale. Take it up with Captain Lamb. Gains trust. What do you want me to do? Dearborn removes suppression. Okay, we're going to go with that. Evaluation of coolness under diversity perhaps considers. I had not considered that the Army would understand these things, but clearly we could. Indeed, now that the idea lies in the open, I can see why this exercise would be arranged. Okay. At your dismissal, Dearborn heads off. When he reaches his men, he signals again that the umpires that they can continue the exercise. I hate to say it, but he does have a point, Sergeant Grant says to you. The enemy picks the ground when they're playing defense. Bennett would always say that it's their battlefield. We're just fighting on it. Maybe it won't always be that way, but we've got to expect it will be. Yeah, how do I put this? Not all attacks. Dearborn has lost his mind. Well, he's upset a bit, yes. Not all attacks can be successful. 1. 2. I did quite think of this operation, especially when I had the 105s and I put them on the machine gun position. That should have, and then they were withdrawn from operations. Well, that should have taken out that machine gun position. I think if you accurately put a barrage on a entrenched, we're not talking bunker, whether it's because hey, it doesn't have to be a concrete bunker. If you build a good wood framed, you frame it internally with wood, and then you pile up rocks on the side and on the top, and then you put a lot of earth around that can be a very, very effective bunker. It will take depending on how, the details of how well it's built, it might even be able to take a direct hit from a 105, but it can probably withstand, very nearby hits. Where we're talking an open trench type system, put some 105s down it, you're probably knocking that gun out. So we had that 105 on it. It didn't do any good. The 60s, so far in this game of here, I don't know how it'll be once we get to North Africa. The 60 millimeter mortar seems to just suppress for a turn. It doesn't seem to do any lasting damage. Now, how do I put this? There is a velocity to warfare. I know I can tend to be a bit of a, especially when we're talking infantry, but a bit of a slow player in that I would like to, I'd rather pause, and if I have the ammunition, in this game I was informed ammunition really doesn't play much of a role unless it's specific to a scenario. If I have the ammunition, I would want to pound something like that, machine gun position with my 60 millimeter mortar, pretty good before moving out, so that probably it's taken out. And not just have to, every round, put the 60 millimeter mortar on it to suppress it. So, yeah, I don't know. But also, we are somewhat arbitrarily limiting the battlefield. Why not flank around? Why not, okay, we move up the road. The platoon in front finds, oh, hey, crossroad. Our objective is to take the crossroads and that, height position. Moving down the road, okay, and as the beginning of the scenario, I know not everyone was here, is, okay, creep up a bit. Oh, hey, we spot an enemy unit. Okay, we start to engage it. We find another enemy squad, and the machine gun starts shooting at us from the top. Well, what do? Do we keep pushing down that road, or the... we do have some flanking element here, for sure, but not a whole lot. So, do we... and to a point, it's almost most of the flanking element. I mean, we are pushing up around the north, which was my plan early on that I said that I wanted to do to take the hill. Yeah, that's what I would do is find the enemy, leave, if I have 3 platoons plus the support platoon, I would leave the initial platoon there to engage the enemy, use the mortars as indirect fire, supporting, whatever attacks. Probably leave the 2 machine guns there as suppression, and then take the other 2 platoons around whatever the flank is. So, the battlefield is, okay, hell of an exercise. Okay, it's their battlefield. We'll continue with that. We train like we expect to fight, LT, Sergeant Grant says. It means that we're making sure the enemy is tough. Okay, continue. We're going to continue. You're going to assure undaunted at the prospects again. Okay. Plenty of stories about foreign soldiers ignoring fire in the field. American soldiers will be no different. All right. Okay, so he's here with that. I am not going to rush him to here. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, if it's a draw, it's a draw next time. I'm seeing this here, mission draw. 5 turns left. Right. Okay, our captain. He is going to call in the artillery here. Right. Now, he's going to lead now that they're suppressed. These guys are going to bayonet charge here.
Follow me!
I know I didn't bolster them, but okay, MG squad. Okay, whistle blows, smoke cease. With both of the exercises over. Loyalty earned, prestige earned, minor victory. Okay. I think we're going to end this here today. I've been playing, a little over 2 hours. Yeah, it's good. I just needed to start later than normal today. But I want to thank Beam Slam, David Fletching, MMDB, Arno, of course, always Arno, for hanging out. Oh, and Jamnuska, if you're still around, just scrolling up the chat here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm enjoying this game. It's a significant departure from what's expected. I find the interface a little clumsy at times, trying to figure out what I'm trying to do here, but I don't know that it's the actual interfaces the problem versus just expectations. So, what does Beamslam say? By the way, I bought the book After D-Day by Stephen Ambrose today at a second-hand shop. Already have the first about D-Day. Actually got it for free as I turned in some other books. Well, very good. Yes, I have I think read one Stephen Ambrose book and listened to 2 or 3 others on audio, audio versions of his books. So, if you want to count that as read them, I've listened to them, including it was his book on the Lewis and Clark expedition, mentioning beam slam and dealing with. I listened to that with my father driving some long distance trip some years ago. So that was good, the Lewis and Clark one. But Stephen Ambrose is a very good writer. So, yep, see you all. Should be back, maybe starting late tomorrow for War Thunder, but we'll be playing War Thunder. Probably doing some of the World War I stuff to finish some of that off, if that's still a thing. I know I got to play it some later today. So, have a good day or evening. See you guys later. Thanks so much, everyone.